So, welcome back to another hockey video, baby. Yeah, baby. So yesterday was Wednesday was the expansion draft. I actually did a video on this on the day, but technology, man, it's been giving me a bunch of problems. But hey, we're here. Let's get this done. Okay, let's get this done. So, I gave you lots of videos where I was saying, Vegas is done. They need to fold the team. I still think so, but I'm still excited for this season, and I'm going to go over the schedule, and I'm going to tell you how I think they're going to do. Now, here's the kicker, the cool thing. I'm going to go over what I should have done 3 weeks ago, which is, where does Vegas go from here? From last season? Where should they be going, right? So, they've had 3 semifinals cup appearances, but will they ever win a cup? I don't know, because here, if you remember the last game, it was just, they didn't do well at all, and I'm not going to dwell on it. It was just one of the worst things I've ever seen. And look, they've lost 3, but they honestly are one of the worst teams in hockey, and I'm saying that as a Knights fan, a devoted Knights fan. Who knows for how long, but Bill Foley said cup in 6 years. He said that even before they had a player. Now you can take a look at the team. They had a good record in the regular season for 40-14-2. They were one of the 4 teams left standing in the finals, but were awful in the playoffs. Again, it was just god awful. Now you can have good and bad. They won 40 games, as I said, in the regular season. They won 40-14-2, which is a good record, I'm not going to lie, but not so much in the playoffs. And that record does not matter in the playoffs if you're not doing anything with it, right? If you can't really match that. Now, look, they beat Wild in the first round in 7 games. They beat Colorado in the second round in 6 games. And then looking at that series, it was like a Stanley Cup preview. Honestly, the Knights, I remember that first game. It honestly was just a complete giveaway by Leonard and the rest of the team. But the rest of the series combined was highly dramatic, highly intense. I'm still thinking about that overtime in, it was game 2 or 3, where there was a cheap shot. It was a cheap call, a bad call by the refs. The refs were definitely a problem. If you heard me on Oscar Montiel's interviews, I will post that clip, by the way, in this description. You'll hear me talk about it. More work. It was a stupid call, but I remember that, and then he ended up scoring that goal, Mikko Rantanen. So now, on the other side, right, and on the other, you had that series that looked like a playoff game. But on the other side, you had Tampa Bay and Carolina, and that was the same way. It was the same thing there. It looked great. It looked like a Stanley Cup playoff, and they could have been there together, but unfortunately, they had to play each other. Now, losing in 6 to Montreal, it said a lot about the team. If I'm going to be honest with you, it proves Vegas needs to do a lot of work to improve. And, look, I said in the beginning, I would have taken all the players, stood them right there and said, all right, now I'm going to, and put their contracts in front of them right here, and said, now, give me the reasons I should keep you. Now, let me make sure this is still recording. All right. So, sorry about that. But I would have said, all right, now give me the top 10 reasons I should keep you right now. Because at this point, you ain't doing nothing. You suck. Right? Suck ass. So, now look. Let's look at what they have and where they need to go. So they have Mark Stone. They spent a lot of money on him. He's the captain of the team. He's going to be there for a lot of years, but he's not a center. He needs to. They need to fix things down the middle, and unfortunately, he's just not it. Now, William Karlsson. I love William Karlsson. I've always loved William Karlsson, and it's him and Pacioretty and Stone and Pacioretty are just great together. He's a great player, but he's ideally a second line player. Chandler Stevenson was a first line center for most of the playoffs. Stevenson's a good player, but is he a first line center in the playoffs? This year it's a no, and unfortunately, I'm gonna say I don't think it's going to be the case that he is in the next years, in the next year either. But we're gonna see in years to come with him, depending on what Vegas does, especially here, right? And look, I know the expansion draft happened, and I know they signed Brett Howden, but they still need to do more work. Now, in the cup in 6 years mentality, look, that mindset had to change in the first year, right? When Vegas was so good, you had the misfits. You had Duke Reed. I think it's Reed Duke, or whatever his name is, Duke Reed, I think it is. You had James Neal. You had David Perron. All the misfits, you had everyone. And, Nate Schmidt, you had everybody, and they were so good, right? And they got to the cup in the first year. I can never forget that. And, the owner, Bill Foley, might have been saying 6 years is a little too much. Maybe we can do this in 3, 4, 5 years. Here's the thing, but we're now at 4 years. The patience that's there is not there, right? The patience isn't there anymore. It's limited. It's gone. This whole thing of, at least they got us to the playoffs, and they've been there for 4 years. No one's ever done this. The best expansion. I don't give a damn about that anymore. You can say that all you want until you're blue in the face. The problem here is they're not doing anything else, right? That's like your boss saying, hey, I paid you half of what I was going to pay you, but hey, at least I've only paid you half. Hey, at least you've been paid. You're going to leave that job if you can find something better, because he should be paying you all of what he should be paying you, right? So you should be getting all of what he should be paying you. So it's, right? So now it's easy to say, hey, look, it's Pete DeBoer. He's the problem, right? Pete DeBoer is the problem. He's an easy target, but it's not all the way true, if I'm going to be honest, right? Because it's easy to pinpoint the team, right? And it is a team effort from the top down. Right? You could say, it's the team or it's the coach. And if it's the coach, you take away the opportunity for the players to take responsibility for their actions, right? And it doesn't help the players. And you don't want to send the message of, it's okay, right? You don't want to send that to the players. It's okay. It wasn't my fault. I did great. Now, look. The players are not going to say that. I know it hurts to lose like that, but they deserve the loss. So, right? Now, look, you have a lot of guys that are just going to be out golfing right now. Right now they should be preparing, but after the playoffs, they were out golfing, probably with their families, relaxing, chillaxing, waiting to see if they were going to come back, right? Who knows, right? Who knows what's going to happen there? Now, hockey players right now, modern day hockey players, are working out 365, right? Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, they're working out after dinner, or at least in the morning. Now, special teams, right? It said it all. It said it all in special teams. They were not even good. They couldn't even be classified as good, like in terms of like high school hockey. No, it was god despicable, right? In the regular season, it was 17.82%. Not good enough, but if you thought that was bad, it got a lot worse in the playoffs at 9.3%. 9.3%. You went from what was the number? Let me go look here. 17.82% to 9.3%. That's incredible. Whoa. Now, the penalty kill, it was 86.8%. 86.81% during the regular season. And in the playoffs, it actually got worse at 71.8%. That averages out to about 81, right? So that's both of them. But the thing is, they need to average out to at least 100, at least in the postseason, right? Because if you don't have that in the postseason, you're really looking for danger, right? The regular season, right? It averaged out to about 104, so they were right there in the regular season. It averaged out nicely. It went down, okay, to 81 together. Now, it tells you all you need to know, that this was the prime it's not the prime, it is one of the prime reasons why they lost. Everyone said, "Oh, Jason, you're being too tough on them." And Oscar even said in that interview, "Oh, I remember when you're not, oh, they're not going to get here, they're not going to get there, they're not going to get to the playoffs." Why did I have those doubts? Was I wrong? Yes, I was absolutely wrong. There you go, Oscar. Okay, but I'm still ain't happy, right? I said they need to fix their power play. And they needed to fix their power play. And why was I saying that? You can go back on any of the videos. I'm not going to post them. There are too many. Where I said they need to fix the power play because, well, they're going to get to the playoffs. And the power play could make a difference. It could make or break them. And it could do wonders in a game. Was I right, or were the other people criticizing me right? I was right. Usually I'm always right, but still. Okay, so this was one of the prime reasons why they lost. The Hockey Guy, one of the YouTube channels that I love, says it, and a lot of other experts say it, that they lost because of, one of the reasons was of that power play. Canada had stopped, 27, 30? Just awful. Now, depending on the restricted free agents, there is some ability to make some changes here. Tomas Nosek, he's a bottom six forward, but he's a decent player, and he had that goal scoring streak after COVID, after he had that COVID diagnosed with COVID. And look, they might keep him. Here's why I would keep him. I'd keep him just because I think he's a good player, number one, but he actually did what he was supposed to. It just that immense amount of goal scoring, and then he got injured, and it just didn't come back. But I guarantee you, had he not got injured, he would have just backhanded it, boom, even a backhand shot. It was incredible to see him. So I think they might keep him. I don't see why they should give him up. I love him in there, always been there. Now, Matthias Janmark, he could be a pure rental from the Blackhawks, but I do think they should keep him. I think he was good at playing on both sides. He could be in multiple lines. And, he still needs to prove himself to the Knights. I feel like just having him from, May and on is not enough. Or April and on. Yeah, it was April. Just keeping him for 2 months was not the ideal thing. Now, if he was god-awful, just didn't do nothing, just absolutely stood there, okay, yeah, get rid of him. But I still think he did a good job. Now, we got Alec Martinez. Look, he's an excellent player for the Golden Knights. He was excellent for them for most of the playoffs. His shot blocking's great. He put up some points. Now they do have a cap crunch, so they need to move some money around. Now the idea of Fleury going, you're effing crazy if you let that dude. Do I have him here? I don't know where I put him, but essentially, I know you just saw that and you're like, what the hell? But Fleury, you let him go, you're effing crazy. He needs to stay. There's no way you get rid of Fleury. It would be a giant mistake, right? Now look, that's quite a dream for them, to get rid of him, get a taker to take his last year $7 million contract, and that money, and that money, you can get that money, and now you have that money to move around, fix things down the middle, get some new players, get rid of some more cash, you could pay some more people that need it. You could do a lot with that. You could buy more players with that. But again, not sure there's a big market for selling Fleury because, that's a lot of money, and the NHL doesn't do a lot of contracts at the height and in the amount of the MLB and the NBA, and the NFL. And of course, selling the fans on getting rid of Fleury. Not in a million years would that happen. You'd lose fans, tens of thousands of fans. Just especially if the team suffers a slow start, right? If they a slow start this next season. You really think the fans are gonna be? It's like when they kept Murray in Pittsburgh, but they got rid of Fleury. Where are they now? Nowhere. And I know one of my state government people is gonna get mad because she's a Pittsburgh fan as well and has always loved them, but loves Fleury. So she's also a fan of the Knights. Look, come on, it's still right. So good luck on that. Now pending RFAs, I can only think of one. Dylan Coughlin. He played a few games, but he really did well. I really think of him, and I think of the game against Minnesota where he scored 3 goals and the Golden Knights just threw it away. I remember that game, and I was pissed. So now so I think they need to keep him for sure. Dylan Coughlin's a great player. The 22 and under class, Nick Hague. He had a good year. Not sure why he was rotated off the blue line. Again, we can talk mistakes about Pete DeBoer. And Pete DeBoer made a bunch of mistakes. I'm going to get into Ryan Reeves and Cody Glass. But just getting him, Coughlin, off the blue line. Stupid mistake, right? Now, Cody Glass, him and Nick Suzuki were drafted in the same year. They decided to keep Cody Glass. And, I look at him and, I look at Nick Suzuki and it's just, look how that trade turned out. Nick Suzuki beat the living hell out of the Knights. They traded Suzuki. I thought they should have kept him when they traded him because I was like, guys, he's going to come back to bite you in the ass. And they did. It bit them really good. Now, I did think that they should have given more time to Glass. They should have given Glass more time. He needed to be given a chance to really prove if, he's a top 6 center. And if he's not a 1-2 center in the NHL, right now they don't have anyone who looks like they could have that role. Of course, although they made a trade for, like I said, Brett Howden, and, that's how for now we have as well Stevenson with more time, right? So who knows how Howden's going to do, but like I said, for now they're going to keep Stevenson there, I think. Now, Peyton Krebs, I hope he has more time to play in this next season. He's very good, and his sister sings country music, and she's awesome. So, but Peyton Krebs is also a good player. He played a few times. Do I think he demonstrated a great amount of scoring? No. Do I think he could do better? Yes, but he's so young. He's my age. I really think he could do a lot better now. And so I really do hope they keep him. I don't see a reason why they shouldn't. He's not being paid that high. I think they could manage his salary. Now, Vegas is, just a good team, right? And so now, hold on a second. So, just had to fix something. So now, to keep going, Vegas right now is concentrated on the Cup. Now, that's where their attention is, which is, I think, one reason why the younger class of guys was being held back a bit. But I don't think it was a great idea because here's the thing. Vegas needs to be more unpredictable. They need to learn how to play their cards right. And right now, and they need to really prove, correct, right? They need to prove that they're actually good. And right now, I don't think they are. I think every team is thinking, thank God we got to play Vegas because they ain't good, right? Now, the 32 and over class, right? So they need to learn how to play. And look, people talk about that Canada or Tampa salary cap. Good on them. Good for them for showing that they don't give a damn. They knew they needed a win. They wanted a second championship, and they effing got it. Now, the 32 and over class, Max Pacioretty. Look, he had one goal against Canada, but put up a lot of goals in the regular season, right? So you were left wanting more in the postseason. If you were a fan, and even if you were just a fan of hockey or you're an analyst, you were left thinking, what the hell is wrong with Pacioretty? He only had one goal. And I remember that game because, I don't know, I'm not even going to go there. Alec Martinez, like I said, 33 years of age, 33 years old. If they offer him a contract, it should be a long-term contract, at least 3 to 5 years. That's where I think he belongs. Ryan Reeves, okay. Here's the thing. In the last couple of games, we noticed that he wasn't in the lineup. And he isn't a great player. He's not a top goal scorer. It's not like you can count on him for that. But he offers up something that they don't have in the rest of the lineup. Okay? They don't have in the rest of the lineup, which is he offers that physical aspect, the physicality, the agitator, the big dude everyone wants to come after, the quality that when he's not in the lineup, when it's not in the lineup, it affects the rest of the team. And it really shows people, I can go rough up William Karlsson, I can go freaking get Riley Smith, I can go get William Carrier, I can go and get Jonathan Marchessault, Thomas Nosek. I can go for any of them because what's Reeves going to do? He's on the bench. Now, if they don't bring him back, right, if you have the situation where Pete DeBoer comes back, I wouldn't even bring him back either. I would use that thing of, hey, if you don't bring me a championship, you can't stay. I think, Ryan Reeves is probably gone. That's what I think. Now, if he's out, then they need another guy, right? They need another player like him. Probably like Brandon Lemieux from LA, who was acquired by the Rangers, right? Someone who is not afraid to be physical. Not dirty players like the Sharks or the Islanders, but still. Now, if the player can also put the puck in the net, then they have something. He can work a little bit of magic when they need it most, or maybe just to add some more insurance. So if you're leading 3-2, you can make it 4-2 or 5-2, and they can't catch up in the third, then great. In the last 5 minutes, well, you're in the Knights, they're able to do. But if you're in the last 3 minutes and you can make it that way, even in the last minute and a half, and you can do that, great. Some insurance there. They can't tie it. Now, and also that physical aspect, great. Now, look, I think they need the physical player and that depth down the middle. And so if they can keep Ryan Reeves, I would love that. I think the team is nothing without Ryan Reeves, and it's just the case. Now, Nick Holden, he had a good set of goals against the Sharks, who I just hate, especially to shut them out in that game. I think they won 6-1, 6-0, or 6-2, but I don't really see him staying. I think he's a goner. Marc-Andre Fleury, let's see what happens there, but look, they need to keep him, right? If they get rid of him, they will incapacitate the locker room. There is no way that if he's gone, that locker room won't suffer. If he's out, right? They'll incapacitate the locker room if he's out, right? He's kind of the guy that holds them together. Everyone admires him. The fans love him. You think there won't be a mass exodus? If it's Fleury by himself, if you get rid of Fleury, I will stop watching. I'm not going to lie. I won't watch. But a bunch of tens of thousands, as I said, of people won't. And they won't. A lot of people will still go to the games, but possibly not enough. And you'll start seeing money being taken away from the stadium and all that. And look, if it's Fleury by himself saying, hey guys, look, I've given enough. I've given 20 years. I got to go. The fans are going to respect that and go, oh man, that sucks. I miss you, Fleury. But, I'm saying, I could be wrong about that, the whole fans leaving, but you'll upset them. Okay? Fleury's one of the most popular, in fact, the most popular player on the team. So look, but if it's him, then the fans are going to understand that. Now, Holden's not a UFA, but Vegas needs to make some. They need to make some room. They're looking to they're looking to do so. And look, if you got to do it, you got to do it. You got to get rid of Holden. Now they were exempt. Not were, but not they are, but they were exempt from the expansion draft this year. And so Seattle's making some. They are still making 4 more picks, or 5, I think. But they made some picks on Wednesday, and Price wasn't taken by them. Incredible, Carey Price. So, and they're still going to make some more picks. We still don't know what's going to happen. Now, they spent the Knights, going back to the Knights, getting back to them. They spent $500 million on the team. And look, it's only been this long. It's only been these 4 or 5. It's going to be 5 years now. It's not the first time teams have, been exempt from the draft by the NHL. So now, the top scorer during the regular season, Mark Stone, 55 games, 21 goals, 40 assists, 21 points. Let's see, in the postseason, you had a lot less. A lot less from him, and he was much less effective. He was a -3 against Montreal. Okay, so it was just terrible, right? Turnovers were so high, so heavy. Good before they met the Habs, and then it all went downhill. It all went to trash. It all went jacked. Right? I'm not gonna curse. So. No points against Montreal for Mark Stone. Incredible. Lead goal scorer in the semis, William Karlsson. No points, but he had 5 assists in 6 games. Was a +3 in it was a +3 in 19 games played. 4 goals, 12 assists, 16 points. Top goaltender during the regular season, of course, I'm not even going to go there. Marc-Andre Fleury, 26, 10, and 8. 928 save percentage. Also good goaltender. Also a good goaltender in the playoffs at 9-7 with a 918 save percentage. But in the conference final against Montreal, Robin Lehner, who the guy I bash all the time, had better statistics than Fleury. This year, the Knights had a .732 winning percentage at 40-14-2, as I said. Those 2, I think, were shootout losses. 5, right? So, yeah. They lose in the semis to Montreal this year in 6 games. Now, last year, they were 39, 24, and 8, a .606 points percentage. They lost in the conference finals against Dallas in 5. And the season before that, they were 43, 32, and 7 with a .567 points percentage. Their lowest in round 1. They lost against San Jose that year in 7. And that was a series lead of 3-1. They lost it. And really, that's where they can't close out a series, comes from. It starts in 2019 and it continues in 2020 with the lack of an ability to shut down Chicago or really, Vancouver. Now, look, they did, but not in the closing series, not to close out the series, right? So they didn't close out a series at home. Now, let's go over this. So the Sharks game, I remember that game. It was terrible. Man, was that a stinger. All right. Now, in their first year, they were 51, 24, and 7 with a .665 points percentage. And in the finals, they lost in 5 against Washington. So, all in all, I think the Knights are Not going to make it to the cup. I will say that. Oscar is probably going to remind me if they do get to the cup, like, oh, Jason, you said that. But I am going to say this. They need way more work. They need to continue they're in a rebuilding stage. I really do think so. And I think what the thing is a lot of players are noticing is Vegas is an easy team to beat. Colorado in the Lake games in Lake Tahoe, they beat us. Nathan McKinnon really did great against us, against the Knights. So, they really are easy to play against. Now, I'm not a hockey player. I couldn't. They would beat my ass. But they're showing their cards, and it's like, here, win. So, and look, Fleury was tired in game 2, game 3, and that's why when he went out of the net, and then because he went too soon, and then they scored, and then they beat us. Look, it's because Leonard sucks. And look, I mean, they stabbed Fleury in the back by keeping Leonard and not him. That's how you know these owners, these managers are dumbasses. They're shit. Because they don't know what the hell they're doing. They're kind of stupid. Why would you keep Leonard over Fleury? Really? Over Fleury? If anything, it should have been Leonard who should have been wondering, am I going to be able to stay? So, that's what I think it is. Now, here's the other part that I think we need to talk about. Vegas is not the desperate hockey team that it was. Remember 2017, 2018? Nate Schmidt, James Neal, you had Carlson, Carrier, Smith, Nosek, Marchessault, Tuck, all of these guys, the Misfits. I think I said Nate Schmidt, but, they were the desperate hockey team. They were hungry for it. If you look at the team right now, on paper, versus that 2017-2018 team, they're more talented. But who is more hungry? Who was more desperate? They were. They got them to the cup. Now, they choked in the cup and they lost in 5. I remember that. So, look, they obviously just were not a good team there, and they weren't a good team this year. Your record doesn't matter. When you have a great record, it needs to be in the playoffs. Now, look, one thing I didn't say about the thing in the power plays. You have a lot of people that are good in the power plays. A lot of teams, they're just amazing. And then they get to the postseason, you're like, what the F? Oh, my God, that was horrible. Then you have great teams that are horrible at the power play. I mean, it costs them games, costs them everything. They get to the postseason, and you're like, whoa, what happened? They woke up, and it was like, God damn, right? Vegas needs to be a better hockey team. Because to win, you need to be big. You need to be boisterous. You need to be desperate. You need to keep doing hits. You had Shea Theodore, I think that was injured, and he wasn't going for pucks like he used to. Mark Stone wasn't giving as many hits, pushing them out as normal. Right? So they need to be big. They need to be boisterous. They need to be heavy. They need to be intense. And they need to play like that desperate hockey team they once were. So that's where I think they are. And I really do hope they do something because right now they suck. So, all right, like, comment, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. I will be creating another sports channel hopefully soon. And all the sports content will be on there. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Like, comment, and share with your friends. If you like what you hear, like what you see, hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you never miss another video, whether it's politics, technology, or this, or entertainment. All right. Thanks.